Hi, sweetie. Of course, come on in. How are you feeling today? Yeah, you're okay. Enjoying the weather. It is really beautiful at the moment, isn't it? It's nice and bright. I think we are. I think we're due some rain later on, but we can enjoy it whilst it's here, can't we? Okay. All right. So we do have your file up here already, and thank you for completing your pre-appointment questionnaire. That just allows me to gain a little bit more of an idea as to your preferences for vacations, and also just gauge a little bit about your budget and your date flexibility. Okay, so thank you for that. Now, I know you said you are looking to book 2 trips with us today. Yeah, is that still correct? Okay. And you have stated that both of those trips must not include any airline travel. Yeah, that's right. Okay, that's absolutely fine. So we're looking today then at primarily cruise or coach trips. Yeah, are you looking to drive yourself at all? No, that's absolutely fine. Yeah, you just want to disconnect and not have to worry about anything. No, that's absolutely fine. I completely understand. I also think when you're driving, you can't really take in the beautiful scenery as well. And some of our trips do feature such beautiful scenery that it's nice sometimes, I think, to be the passenger and just kind of take all that beauty in. So, no, I completely understand. Okay. So, if you can, just to start with, tell me a little bit more about the 2 trips and whether you want them to be similar to one another or whether you almost want them to kind of be polar opposites, okay? And I am just going to take some notes whilst you're talking, okay, sweetie? All right. Yeah. Okay. Absolutely. So you're thinking 1 UK coach based, yeah, and then a cruise somewhere a little bit further afield. Okay, so I know you just mentioned coach based for a UK trip. Would you be open to traveling via rail within the UK? Because we do have some beautiful trips within the United Kingdom, but the main mode of transport for them is via train. No, you're not too keen. No, that's absolutely fine. That's okay. We can go ahead and exclude those for today. That's all right. They are relatively popular. I do think clients tend to lean more toward rail transport if they're wanting to explore a much more vast area in a short space of time, because you can of course access more locations within your designated holiday time when you're on the train. Okay, all right. So what I suggest we do today is focus on your UK based trip, and we just for the moment park your second trip, because I think everything may get a little bit convoluted if we're planning 2 trips alongside one another. Does that make sense? Yeah, okay. Alrighty, so I like to start my planning with a quick word exercise, okay? Don't think too much about it, and don't feel pressure to give me elaborate or detailed responses if you don't feel that way inclined. But just sort of let me know what your instinctive gut response is to some of these questions, okay? All right. So the first one, and I can give you some paper if you want just to jot some notes down. Yeah, some people like to write quite a lot of notes. Other people just sort of write one word. So it's entirely up to you. I will just fold it. Give you that, sweetie, and then there's just a pen just to the side of you there. Perfect. Okay, so the first question is sort of a hypothetical situation, okay? And again, I will be typing some notes up while you're talking, okay? So I'm not being rude, it's just so I can kind of have a document of what we've discussed today, okay? All right, so like I said, hypothetical situation right now, okay? So you've never been to Paris and you are given only 24 hours in Paris. What are you doing? What are you seeing? What are you seeking out? Just kind of use your words, bit of a free flow exercise. What's coming to mind? Yeah, the Notre Dame, okay. La Madeleine, all right. Yeah, American Cathedral. And the Pantheon, okay. Yeah, some sort of boutique pastry shop, okay, perfect, all right. Yeah, okay. All right. So you're gravitating toward the historical sites, the landmarks, the architecture. Yeah, definitely. Okay. All right. So my second and final question, and again, it's a hypothetical one. You've just returned from your vacation and you're telling everybody you meet that this was the best vacation you have ever taken in your life, and you don't think another vacation could ever possibly compete with this one. What is coming to mind? What words are you thinking, and how are you describing it to people? Yeah? That's absolutely fine. If that's coming to your mind, absolutely. So learning a lot, art, yeah, architecture, self-care. Okay, that was a little bit of a curveball for me. I wasn't expecting that, but beautiful. Go ahead. Some Roman ruins, okay. And period Tudor buildings, okay. Perfect. Yeah, strolling along the river, okay. Sunsets. Yeah, city walking, okay. No strenuous exercise, okay. All right. Okay. So you did throw me, like I said, a little bit of a curveball there. Can you describe to me what self-care means to you? I know I did say that was the final question, but that did surprise me a little bit, so I want to delve a little bit more into that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, spas, skincare, hair treatments, that sort of thing, okay? Yeah, relaxing in the evening, yeah. Uh-huh. Okay, beautiful. So self-care to you is switching off, closing the door on the world, and disconnecting. Would that sound about right? Yeah, okay, beautiful. All right, sweetie. Let me just jot that down as well, because like I said, that is something that I wasn't expecting based on your pre-questionnaire that we gave you. So self-care is spas and face masks, and we said relaxing by the river. Okay, perfect. All right. So, I know you said you are currently living in Oxford, was that correct? Yeah, okay. Now, a lot of our coach trips do depart from London. Would this be okay for you? Is London accessible? It is, yeah, wouldn't be a problem. Okay, perfect. All right. Now, one of the first places that popped into my mind when you were talking about your preferences was the city of York. Have you ever been to York? No, you haven't. Okay. So I would definitely be leaning towards recommending York based on your preferences. It is a relatively small city. It's in the north of England, I'm sure you're aware. It's close to Sheffield, Leeds, Harrogate. Yeah, you've heard of it, you just haven't visited, of course. Okay, so let me get the package that we offer up, sweetie, so you can have a look. Just pop that there. Okay. So let me just check which one it is. Yeah, so it's called The Freedom of York. Here it is. So I will just face that towards you so you can see the package whilst I'm discussing it, okay? So it is this one here. So we'll just put a little bit of a note there for us, and I will just highlight it as well so we know. Okay, so can you see that from where you are? Yeah, you're sure? Let me just bring it up on my system as well. So the York packages are anywhere between 3 and 5 days long, and one of those days is a full day designated to touring the city with one of our lovely historians called Peter. So Peter actually covers quite a few of our history tours in the United Kingdom, and he is so detailed and so engaging that you almost don't realize actually how much information you're taking in, because he delivers it in such a way that it doesn't feel like a class, and it doesn't feel like a kind of stereotypical teacher-student way. It's absolutely wonderful. I have been on quite a few of these tours, and I would recommend. Okay, so during that tour he will take you to York Minster. Yeah, a lot of people have York Minster on their bucket list, so he will take you there. York Minster was built around, I believe, 1220, and I think it took somewhere around 250 to 300 years to build what we know to be the initial structure of the Minster, and it has been rebuilt and portions have been added since, but it is really fascinating to learn more about it. I don't know also whether you're superstitious or romantic. Yeah, maybe a little bit. So something that stuck out when I went on one of his tours was that there is actually a small stained glass window just underneath the Minster, and it's actually believed that if you kiss your significant other underneath this window, then you'll be together forever. So I think it's something cute. I don't know the success rate of that, but it's a nice sentiment. Alright, so he will also take you around the historical Roman walls as well, which are around 3 kilometers in length. They really allow you to see the city from a slightly raised perspective, which gives you a really nice vantage point. He will also take you to Clifford's Tower Castle, which again is so steeped in history. The original castle was actually one of the castles built by William the Conqueror around 1108, I believe, and Peter will of course talk you through the history of the tower. Of course, as is the case with a lot of history, some of those events are quite barbaric in nature, but of course I do think it's interesting to learn, and it's important that we don't forget, even if it's difficult to hear. So they are really interesting tours with Peter, okay? How is this sounding so far to you? Yeah, good. I can kind of tell by your face you look really engaged with that. I'm really interested, okay? So that's perfect. Now, I know you did mention self-care, didn't you? You said self-care was very important for you. Okay, so I can add on a spa evening package at the hotel you're staying at if that's something you would like. Yeah, absolutely. So the hotel you're staying at, it actually has one of the highest rated spa packages in the country. It's called the Royal Deluxe, and it is a complete head-to-toe 5-hour treatment which includes a full body massage, a seaweed and deep sea body wrap, full body dry brushing, lymphatic tissue massage, hot stones, pedicure, and a 2-hour facial. Does that sound good? Good. Would you like to know a little bit more about what the facial includes? Yeah, I thought you would. I know sometimes people, if they're not really into skincare, they're not really too concerned, but yeah, I thought you might like to know. So it includes, of course, your foundation steps, your double cleansing, your steaming, your moisturizing. That goes without saying. But it also includes gentle microneedling, red light therapy, ultrasound lifting, extractions if desired and required, a collagen and gold jelly mask, a 30-minute scalp massage, and an Vedic hair treatment as well. Now, I personally have attended the spa before for this particular package, and they are just magnificent. What they don't actually mention on their website, but they do include, are heated blankets, freshly steamed tea. They have beautiful candles and incense, and they also provide you with these beautiful silk pajamas, which of course you can take away with you as well. It is just such a luxurious treatment. Yeah, you're thinking you're ready for this. Absolutely. It is. It's absolutely wonderful. I want to go back myself. And the gardens surrounding the hotel and the spa as well are just so beautiful and picturesque. There's actually a section of it where there's just rows and rows of lavender and daisies and wildflowers, and there's these little swinging benches which are scattered around, so you can kind of just go out after your facial and sit in the garden with a cup of tea or a coffee and just read a book. It's, like I said, it's such an experience. Yeah, okay. So you seem very keen on the York stay. Yeah, again, I may be slightly biased, but yeah, it is one of my favorites too. I will just quickly show you some other choices just so you can kind of get an idea as to what else is out there. Of course, there's so many cities in the United Kingdom which offers such rich history, so I don't want you to just think, of course, it's just York. So let me show you some others, okay? And again, we can always go back to the York one, but it's good to see what else is out there, isn't it? Okay. So, what was the other one that my historians always like? Okay, so it might actually be on the same page as York. Yeah, here it is. Okay. So again, I'll just put this your way so you can see, and I will bring it up on my system so I can give you some more information. But it is this one here, based in Chester. Have you ever been to Chester before? No? Okay. So I would personally describe it as being quite similar to York in some ways. So it has a beautiful cathedral, and William the Conqueror also actually built a castle in Chester as well. Now, the thing worth mentioning with this package is, even though there is a spa package that can be added onto this trip, it unfortunately is not quite as advanced as the York one. So it is only a 50-minute Swedish body massage, which is still wonderfully relaxing, but of course I know if you're into skincare, it's not quite as exciting possibly. No, they don't, sadly, so there's no facials to add on to that treatment. That's the only kind of spa treatment that they offer. No, you're set on the York one. Okay, that's absolutely fine. I do just quickly have 2 other ones to mention just for your consideration, and that is, let me find it. Again, we can always go back to the York one. I'm not trying to dissuade you at all, but I do want you to just see what else we have to offer. Okay, so this is one of the next options, and it's the Tudors, the Shakespeares, and the Scholars trip. So I'll just asterisk that as well, and let me pop this up on our system. So this one is actually based in Stratford-upon-Avon. I don't know if you've visited there. You have, you went there quite recently. Okay. Yeah, it was beautiful, but you're not really wanting to visit again. No, that's absolutely fine. I completely understand. It is, like you said, a wonderful part of the country, but I think if you've recently been, it just doesn't feel the same, does it, to go back? Okay, so only sort of 2-3 months ago. Okay, no, I completely understand that. Okay, so let me just show you the other one I was thinking. So, it's this one here, and it's called Regal Edinburgh. Okay, so yeah, I'll just asterisk that, and we'll just highlight it. This just lets me know as well what I've actually discussed in today's session. Okay, all right. So, have you been to Edinburgh before? Okay. Yeah, you have quite a few times. Okay, now this one is 3 days long, and it does include Edinburgh Castle. I don't know whether you visited Edinburgh Castle before. Yeah, I can tell with your face. Yeah, you're not too keen to go back, maybe. Yeah, it was beautiful, but you feel like you've done it and you want to go somewhere new. Okay, again, that's completely understandable. Okay, so I'm sensing we're set on York, is that correct? Yeah, okay, wonderful. So, if we've narrowed it down to the city of York, I do have 2 options for you, okay? So we do have 2 separate York trips, okay? So let me go ahead and bring those up. Okay. So, we of course have the one which we have discussed, or we do have another one which is called, let me just find it. Here it is. Yeah. So it's called the Grand Old Duke of York. There's actually a beautiful photo there of the river, which I don't know if you can see. How beautiful does that look? I mean, you'll see that on either trip when you go to York, but it is so beautiful, isn't it? Okay, so this one is 6 days, and the main difference between this one and the other is that this particular one, you are visiting places outside of York as well. Now, are you a fan of classic literature? Yeah, not so much. Okay, so I do ask that because this trip will actually take you to Whitby, which is the harbour town that supposedly inspired the novel Dracula. Yeah, it's not something. It also takes you to Harrogate and Nesborough, which are towns outside of York. I don't know if you've heard of any of those. Yeah, you have. Okay, there's a beautiful viaduct actually in Nesborough, which is very aesthetically pleasing, and it is really quaint and beautiful around there. No, you're not really wanting to travel to those. No, that's absolutely okay. All right, so do you think we're finalizing the first York one? That seems to be where your mind is kind of set on. Yeah, So it's, where was that one? So it's this one here, the Freedom of York. Yeah, okay, beautiful. All right, let me just write that up. So we're confirming that today. And are you wanting to stay for 3 or 5 days? Yeah, the full 5. Okay, perfect. All right. I will just make a note on your file as well that you're choosing the 5 days. Perfect. Okay. Now, do you want to go through the dining choices for that package now, or I can call you at a later date and go through these? No, we'll go through them now. Absolutely. That's wonderful. Okay. So first of all, we do have 2 different lunch options for you for your course of 5 days, okay? So the first one is Betty's Tea Room. This is really renowned for a particular sweet baked good called Fat Rascal. I don't know if you've heard of that. No. Okay. Now I haven't actually tried one of those myself, but they are supposed to be very rich and delicious. And a lot of people from York, or if you speak to people who've visited, they say it's really good and it's something that you should try if you go there. So again, maybe recommend that you do that. Now the package for this tea room would be an afternoon tea, which includes sandwiches, baked goods, and unlimited tea or coffee. Okay. The other lunch option is a restaurant called Goji. So Goji is completely vegan and they serve a mixture of savory and sweet treats. One of my personal favorites from this place is the vegan mushroom burger. So if you like mushrooms, yes, I would recommend that if you do go there, okay? Yeah, but you're leaning towards Betty's. Yeah, okay, perfect. I think it is a little bit more famous around there, so that's fine. Do you have any dietary requirements? No, okay. Yeah, you're trying to eat a little bit less salt. Yeah, I can pop that down, absolutely. They do have a lot of options there, so I can't imagine that being a problem at all, but I will absolutely jot that down. Okay, perfect. All right. And your evening choices are, we have a beautiful restaurant called the Lake Terrace, and it actually overlooks the river, and that is an Italian restaurant, okay? The second option we have is a restaurant on a boat, and it's actually called Dine As You View, which I think is a really funny name. And you do actually get to have the boat trip whilst you're eating, so it isn't a stationary boat, it's actually moving. And that menu is primarily Mexican, Thai, and Chinese. Yeah, the boat, perfect. I think it is a little bit of a different experience, isn't it there? Perfect. Alrighty. So, what I'm going to do now is print everything we've discussed today. I will just recap it with you, and then I will also ring you in about a week's time just to ask you additional questions about your trip. What I do is I will send all this information across to the hotel and the spa, and then they often send me lots of questions back, and I will of course then reach out to you and ask you. Okay?